Welcome to Wauna Talk, our guide to the people and products that make Wauna Credit Union so special. I'm Josh Ryan with the Wauna Credit Union marketing team, and today I'm here with Joe Talamantez, who lead our efforts in Pacific County. Thanks for joining us today. We'll start out by letting our listeners get to know you a little bit.
Well, Josh, I grew up in Astoria, and I've now spent more than half my life in Clatsop County. Graduated from Astoria High School, left for a bit, came back, started a family here. Spent quite a bit of time up in Pacific County as well as Clatsop County, more visiting coming up and doing some of the fun activity tourist things up here. Really enjoyed being up here now, meeting a lot of the business owners, a lot of realtors in the area. This is going on my full 5 weeks I've been with Wauna, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I love getting out in the community here and hear repeatedly how this area really needs Wauna. A little more in-depth conversations go a little deeper than just the surface there, but it's nice to hear. Wauna has a great reputation up here at just getting it established and go from there. But really have enjoyed the conversations I've had with a lot of the business owners and realtors up here.
So we're actually here in the mortgage origination office at 910, now I'm going to blank out on the address, 910 Pacific Avenue in Long Beach, which is not a branch yet, but we do occasionally have the visitors come in. But what that is it's our mortgage origination office. It's the MOO, as we like to call it. And again, Joe really, really does like that acronym. So I think one of the things to welcome him to the credit union is when you see him out and about, make sure, make as many cow noises as you want to him. Ask him to do his cow impression. In all seriousness, the MOO, it opened about 2 years ago. Our board, our executives really saw this area as a natural extension of the areas that Wauna was already servicing. This is where we opened up our first interactive teller machine, and for those of you who haven't had a chance to use it, I know we've talked about it on our last podcast with Ian, but it really is kind of cool new technology where you get to talk face-to-face with our team located in Astoria, so just right down the road. And it's, for our members who kind of don't need to necessarily go all the way into Astoria to use the branch, but do want to talk to somebody, they can answer any questions, they can give you change. It's really, really a cool technology. So the ITM is located right across from the Fun Beach Speedway, so if you see that, just look across. We've got a little outbuilding that houses the ITM, and you can talk to our ITM agents, particularly Nick, Sarah, and I'm forgetting one person's a Brittany. This will be the part, hi Carly, this will be the part that I edit out. Our ITM team is great. They really do a good job. It's not what we're here to talk about today, but if you do want to give a chance, talk about it. But what I do really want to talk about is kind of the expansion of what we've been doing, and why Joe came on board. So Joe mentioned he has a real good background in mortgage, and that's a big part of what he's going to be doing out here. He's going to start offering a lot of those services that people need out here. There's not really a credit union serving this area, and there's a couple banks, but what we really want to do and what we pride ourselves on is looking at whether it's a business or whether it's a mortgage, really looking at the person and making an evaluation based on the person and what their plan is versus making an evaluation just solely on dollars and cents. Well, and Joe, I know that when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that one of the reasons you came to Wauna is because of that reputation within the community and, the things that Wauna is known for doing, both in Pacific County, Clatsop County, Columbia County for sure.
Definitely, Josh. And as myself being a member and going into some of the different branches and seeing just that TMA mentality and the culture, and really that's what made me say I want to work for Wauna, is that culture that you can see. And one of the things we talked about earlier, I'd gone into the Warrington branch several times over the course of a few months, where it was clear I was going in there to visit, try to market, not as a member, and I still saw that from the MCs on that positive smile interacting. Yesterday I was in a branch as an employee, no customers in the lobby, no members in the lobby, and see 3 MCs that were working but joking around with each other and having a good time and enjoying being there. And that really that really is what sold me on wanting to be an employee of Wauna. And even this morning, prospective member, looking around shopping the banks, kind of did a little mini interview out in our parking lot with me. And I told her why I came to work, and she looked at me and pointed and said, you know what, you're the kind of person that why I want to be a part of this credit union. I'm going to bring all my financials to Wauna. And it's not me, it's everybody else in the culture within Wauna.
Well, and I know time and time again, I've been at Wauna now for just about 2 years, and when we talk about our members, we talk about them as people, and we say their names, and this person. I remember I had something last year where I was trying to get a hold of a member. He'd actually won a prize on a contest we were doing, and he was in Astoria. I was in St. Helens, and a couple of our MCs, he's like, oh, I knew him, I went to school with his son, and we ended up having a long conversation about he was in St. Helens actually. We ended up having a long conversation about the family there, and then I was trying to I was trying to talk about something later on. I was talking to someone in our call center in St. Helens, and she's like, oh, I know that family too. So that's and we're not, obviously there's a lot of new people to the area. I'm certainly, I grew up in Portland, so it's not that we only serve people face to face, or we only talk about people we know, because one of the things we're investing in is our technology. You heard Michael and I on the first podcast talk about Digital Insight, talk about DI, which is U-banking, which was a big investment that we made to make sure that the credit union had a top-of-the-line app, had top-of-the-line services and features. So, but what we really do when we think about that is we want, whether it's online or face-to-face, we still want that personal experience. So we make that investment, even if it's technology and you don't talk to a member of Wauna Credit Union, it's still a personal experience for you. And Joe, another thing you mentioned actually was TMA. That's called the Member Advantage, and it's a program that we all go through at the credit union. And one of the things we do with that is the heart of TMA. And if you think about going in somewhere, you think about someone maybe trying to give you a service that you don't need just to make the the credit union or the bank more money. So the heart of TMA I thought is really cool. And this is that you spend more time listening and more time asking questions than you do talking. And I kind of want to take it back a little bit to why we opened the move in the first place, why we brought Joe on board, is a lot of those services that people see, but both in Pacific County, but also definitely in Clatsop County. What we really saw is that our members, our potential members, the business community, people looking to buy homes, they weren't getting their needs met by what was available there. Everyone was trying to help out, especially at Wauna. We were definitely trying to do that, but we really felt like we needed more people brought on to do those things. So, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you guys have been doing since you took this over. I'd love to hear a little bit more about, what you've seen coming in as you've been talking to the community, what people are saying about both this and about, the credit union, and about kind of really more what they're hoping to accomplish.
Just being out in the community. This morning I went into IGA, the grocery store, and the checker was actually the manager there, and he looked at my name tag and said, oh, you guys are here, what do you do? And he asked, and I was able to expand on what we do here. It's not just a mini branch, just mortgages. We're looking at doing business loans, commercial loans, consumer loans. We will develop into a full service branch. Right now we're kind of limited because we're not a full service branch yet. We'll get there. And he was so excited. Give me some of your cards. You have cards? So just him to be able to pass them out to his customers, his employees. I told him about our direct deposits and other services that we can do, and that we could set them up as members, and he was excited about it. And I found that in a lot of the businesses I've gone into and talked to. It's just over and over again. I've had such a warm welcome going into the businesses. They read my name badge, and it's like, oh, what do you do? I know I saw the little building over there, and just being able to expand on that. A big part of it too is what I've done is gone to all the real estate offices and talked to a lot of the realtors, and they've kind of resounded the same thing that a lot of the business owners have said. Boy, we really need Wauna here, and they're literally saying that we really need Wauna here. And I think a big part of it is that boots on the ground and having a face in front of them. it's gone a long ways, I think, in a very short period of time, just going out to the offices. Even though there are other financial institutions here, the realtors have been very frank with me to say we don't see any of them. It's nice to see somebody here. And I've reassured them that this is a continuing thing.
Well, and that's one of the things I know you mentioned. You spent a lot of time working in Clatsop County as well as Pacific County, and I know you mentioned that our Clatsop County team, Paige and Heather, just have a great reputation in the area, and all the realtors know them and talk about them and say how good they do. And just a little bit more about that was one of the things that helped bring you on board and help you decide that Wauna was the right place to join.
Definitely, the bench strength there, having some good employees who know what they're doing on the mortgage side. I've quite a few offices that I've gone into in Clatsop County. Again, Gerhardt, Seaside, Astoria, they have said that, boy, that's a great team. Some of the realtors I've worked with for quite some time have said it, oh, we're so glad you're going to Wauna. I like the backstage they have there. Backstage they were talking about the lending department. So that was really encouraging for me prior to going, and after going, it's even more encouraging. I've gone into quite a few offices in Clatsop County that I've worked with realtors there, and there have been a number of realtors that haven't. They've been very friendly, but not willing to work with me. Once they found out that I went to Wauna, I had one in one of the Gerhardt branches or offices actually stop me and say, give me more information about Wauna. I want to know. I want to work with you. So that was kind of nice. It's that reception down there, and then the same thing up here in Pacific County.
Well, and that's one of the things, because I'm definitely one of the people who is I don't want to say leading, because we all leaders. Our leaders are leading. I'm helping, give suggestions and filter in the directions of how do we take that technology to the people who want to be branchless. And I'm, one of those people I prefer to do most of my business online or maybe through an ATM. But my mantra with that has always been to extend our branch experience to online versus the other way around. We don't want to take technology and move it into the branches. And you can see, that's how we use the ITM. We use the ITM to supplement what our branches are already doing. I know that there are some banks especially who have taken those ITMs and used them as an excuse to get rid of the frontline staff. And that's not what we're doing. We're using our ITMs to free up the frontline staff to have more time to talk to people. So instead of, and we always give that guideline of, you want to help the person in front of you as much time as they need. We're not trying to be a bank and trying to cycle people through. We're trying to greet people at the door. We're trying to have fun with them. We're a happy place. We want people to be happy to come into a branch, and I think that's what makes, back to the ITMs, we've been talking a lot about them, but I think we think they're great things, is they're there to have that teller experience. They're not there, they're not an ATM, and they're not an ATM for a specific reason. Those ITMs mean we hire someone else in Astoria, so there are more people coming into the credit union instead of, getting rid of people, And I'll just throw in a little plug, if you're happy to listen to this episode but didn't listen to the last one, listen to Ian from our HR team talk about, we talked about the ITMs a lot, but talk about what working at the credit union is like, because it really is a great place to work, and we're really doing these things to get more people at the credit union to talk to our members more, to really make it so no matter what our member wants to do, whether that or prospective member, whether you're just a person who wants to open up an account, you're looking for a loan, you're looking for a mortgage, you're a business, we like to say there's not really a service that we offer, and I look at the bank's websites all the time. There's not a service that they offer that we really don't offer. We have investments even. We really do everything, but we do it at a personal level, and that's really and anytime I hear anybody talk from our leadership team, from our board, we're looking for ways to increase the personalization, to increase. Sometimes that's making our technology more personal. Sometimes, with TMA, that's making our people more personal. We want to always address our member and help them serve a need versus the other way around. We don't want our members to make us more money. We want us to make our members more money. I'm looking at the time. I know you guys are busy. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you're interested in, you want people to know, especially about what we're doing here in Pacific County, or anything else about Wauna?
No, just to reinforce what this area is in Pacific County. They want Wauna to grow here, and that's what I'm hearing from the community. Obviously, I haven't talked to everybody in the community, but I haven't heard one person say, "Oh, a credit union." I've heard the opposite.
Yeah.
Wow, I went to my bank, my financial institution, and they wouldn't even listen to me. That just happened a couple weeks ago, and we have somebody who we're closing a first mortgage with, a refinance, that their bank spent 10 seconds with them.
Yeah.
And said, no, we can't do it because they didn't listen, they didn't take the time.
Hurry it up.
But this
We're
community
putting
really
daylight.
has been very welcoming.
So I don't have my soundboard with me today, so you don't get to hear John Wayne tell you to get to go, and I'll add it in post. But when I do play it, that means that it is our lightning round. So I've got 3 short questions, just 3 short answers. Joe, I know you've only been at the credit union for a short time, but what's something you've done here that has really made you proud, or you kind of made you feel joining the credit union was worth it?
Well, in my 5 short weeks,
Yeah.
today is a perfect one just because it's most recent,
Yeah.
is I went to run an errand.
Yeah.
Before I even pulled out of the parking lot, somebody pulled in. I waited to see if they were going to the ITM or coming in. I just started pulling out as she started to walk to the front door, turned back around and talked to her and just introduced
Yeah.
her to the tune out the world and focus on the individual in front of you. And
It worked.
it's just a good feeling because it's everything right. And she's like, I love credit unions. I want to be part of this credit union. And just to hear that, it's a good feeling. And to walk away from it, along with the whole culture of, you're not selling somebody something for the sake of selling it. You're selling them something that will help them. You're providing something that it's a win-win all the way around.
Awesome. Second question is, you've talked about this a little bit. Why did you choose to come to Wauna?
The culture, and it's twofold. Coming from, I can't remember. I know we've talked about it a few times. I've spent 8 years in the mortgage industry. I've been an accountant for a period of time, but to come into the branches or walk in the branches and have that culture of hi, knowing that I'm not walking into there as a member, and the MCs didn't have to acknowledge me like that. Yesterday, being in the branch and having them smile and joke around with each other, knowing that I hate to say just an employee, but I'm not a member. They didn't have to do that, but it's the culture, and that really, and the 5 weeks I've been here, that's all I've seen all the way around is that culture of actually wanting to help, whether you're an internal, external customer,
Awesome.
or member.
Yeah. And then final question is, what's a hobby you have that might surprise people?
A hobby I have that would surprise people. I don't know that I have anything that would surprise people. I like being in the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Having grown up in Astoria, I don't think it's a big surprise. I love to hunt and fish. I have a 14-year-old son who loves to fish and hunt. My friends tell me I'm the luckiest person in the world because he's always put, let's go fish, let's go hunt, let's go fish, let's go hunt. So I always have an excuse to go do it. I got to spend time with my child.
What's your prize catch? What's
I think for me, being with him, we went fishing, and he caught a 22-inch steelhead. He was pretty young. He was 5-6 years old.
Oh.
He wasn't able to pull it in on his own, but he still talks about that at 14 on, hey, remember when? So I think that was the...
Well, thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate this. And if any of our listeners are on the lookout for a mortgage, personal loan, business loan, want to know more about the credit union difference, want to open up an account, give Joe a call. Again, the office is 910 Pacific Avenue. And even if they're not here, you can go to that ITM kiosk, hit ITM, and one of our ITM tellers in the communication center is also happy to help you. We're here in Pacific County, and we really do want to help the area grow.